Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
It's William and Andrew here. Let me get this adjusted. It seems very high today. I must be sitting up higher in my chair. How are y'all doing? How is your Monday going? It's Monday, right? Yes. Um, it's been a crazy kind of day for us. That's why we're running a little bit behind. Um, we're 10 minutes behind.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. So, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We just ran for quick grocery shopping. We squeezed that in between because otherwise we would be stopping at Sheets.
Maybe rice and mustard.
Andrew was going to make a mustard souffle tonight. Otherwise, he told me. So we snuck that in. So that took a little bit longer.
I was like, I can make something from mustard and flour and maybe
rice.
Some ketchup.
That's what we have in the
maybe
fridge.
some French dressing. I could do a little bit of a sauce.
No. I said no to that.
You didn't want my ketchup souffle?
No. So we did that. And of course, when you're hurrying through the grocery store, that's when you talk to everybody, right? And I love catching up with people. I'm so glad I got to talk to the people I did today because we talked to some people who were here in Ligonier but are now in Johnstown as well. So it's been the first time we've gotten to catch up with them. But we were both like hanging out talking, and we both had things to do, and we kind of were like, oh, okay, I gotta go too. But then we kept talking. So it was one of those things. So that is how the day went. Longer than I thought it was going to go. Everything took longer today than we thought. Yeah, I hung out with Barb earlier today. She is leaving for a week, so I hung out with her to kind of do the transition because I'm going to be shipping for her while she's gone. So I had to figure out where she was with things, and she had to figure out where I was with things and where we were, because she doesn't get to watch all the lives. So she doesn't know about things sometimes when I just drop them off here in the middle of the night. So we kind of collaborated this morning for a few hours and got ourselves situated. So a lot of your packages you probably saw going out in the mail today. I know she sent a good number of them, I believe. Yeah, the other thing is that some of you may notice some of your orders that are newer going out before things that are older, because sometimes there are things that are waiting on me. So I apologize for that, but you'll get everything. It just sometimes takes a little bit longer for certain things.
We've had to do one or two things in the meantime.
Yeah, we've been a little bit busy. So some of the laser stuff is taking a while, and I apologize for that. It's just that with the store move, that all relies on us to do. No one else can help us with that, and those things are a little bit behind. I have a few luster pendants I have to work on. Andrew fired up the kiln hilt here tonight, so I'm going to get some blanks made for the luster pendants. That's been the issue. When I have blanks, they go out pretty quickly. We ran out of blanks, so we have to cut a bunch of blanks, and I still have to hole punch them yet and file them down and all that good stuff, and get the enamel, just the black base enamel on them before I can put on the luster coat. We had to order more enamel because we ran out. So thank you all so much for your support, because we did run out of enamel. But I am sorry to those who are waiting for some things. The store move has been like, and every day we've pretty much, today was like the exception. Today was the one day we didn't go up to Johnstown to actually work on the store. And we should have, because we have a filming person coming in on Wednesday, but we did not.
So tomorrow's going to be real interesting.
So tomorrow's going to be interesting. Really, the store, for filming, it's okay, but it needs to be cleaned up. We need to put a lot of stuff, like it has some feeling of abundance in the way of where things are and things that are out on the show floor, but it would be nice to have more, it's probably not going to happen, but we do have to get up there at least to clean up and make it so that she can walk around. Because we kind of left it in a state. We were working hard on Sunday, and then we were so worn out at the end of the day. We had people actually come in at the very end of the day, which was nice to see, but it kept us there longer than we thought, and so we kind of just dropped everything and ran at the end. So
I kind of zhuzhed up a little bit at the end.
you tried. We tried. We always try to make it so that it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
if people look in the door, we don't want them to think like it's a catastrophe in there.
But also, like, we're not people who know what this is like, but when you fold your bed, how you call that? Fix your bed?
Yeah.
How you call it? How do everybody call it when you go?
When you fix your bed. Fix your bed, right? That's right.
Fold your bed?
You don't fold your bed unless you have a Murphy bed. Even then, a futon.
I don't know. But anyways,
to make your bed.
So when
you make your bed.
When you make your bed, so that when you go to sleep in the night, everything's like crisp and stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's like.
We don't do that.
But in theory, it's the same as when you go and you like.
We like to make the store the night before, so when you walk in,
then it's already done.
When you open the door in the morning, right? Instead of like, I gotta clean this up before everyone walks in the door, right?
Like I'll take a couple minutes and I have a room spray and I'll like do the room spray and I'll do a little sweeping
and do some incense burning.
No, I start the day incense. I do room spray at the end.
Oh, that's right.
Because I don't like to leave anything burning.
No. Let's see. Suzanne is here. Hello. Susie, our neighbor, is here. Teresa has joined in. Suzanne says, pretty good. I'm getting a tattoo later this week. A Japanese trickster cat. That's awesome. Teresa says, I fell asleep and an hour later, I thought it was Tuesday morning.
Been there.
Been there. Been there. I would love to take an hour nap. That would be amazing right now. But I would probably wake up and think it was next Thursday. So
that's not ideal.
Right. Susan is here. Hello, Susan. Terry is here with us. Hello, Terry. Terry, I think your order is one that you're waiting on me, and I apologize for that. It's all laser stuff. Matusik?
Oh.
Am I pronouncing that right? And I know that one's been waiting a while, and I'm sorry for that. We'll get that out as ASAP. Suzanne, I said hello.
I appreciate everybody who's been so patient and gracious with us as we move the store.
It was no small undertaking.
No, we've been working pretty steadily.
Yeah.
Every day.
I
actually messed up my back a little bit.
Yes, he did. He messed up his back, and by a little bit, it's a good bit.
Yeah, we had Diane and Jen come at the end of the day the one day. And my back had been messed up. And I was trying so hard not to look like is invalid okay to say?
I don't know.
But I was trying not. But we went down that step in the back.
Oh, the back room.
Step,
yeah.
And I made a weird kind of grunting squeal.
grunting squeal.
And I think that shook Diane. Because she's not used to that.
No.
That informality.
No. Marianne and Michelle are here. Hello, hello. Sandra is here. Michelle watching this on my laptop while working. Nice. I hear you're getting maybe a new computer soon. I saw that. That's awesome. If you didn't see, I put things in the D-Stash group. If you're part of that inner clique, there are things.
It sound like we're mean girls. It's just another place to buy stuff.
It is. It's a place to buy stuff if you don't like the lives or you're not a live person. We try to put some of that stuff up on there and little extras sprinkled in. So I put some things, 30-some things up on the D-Stash. I'm going to do some more of those later this week. So that D-Stash event is not over yet. You can go claim those. But I did ask some good things that are happening to people. And Michelle was getting her dining room set up for her to work in. It's always nice to have a place, right? And I think you said you're getting a new computer soon. And new lighting, too.
We need to set up our dining room.
Yeah, we do. We have a computer on our dining room table right now, along with everything else in the world. It's like the whole world is on our dining room table with that computer right now.
The dining room table is actually not too bad.
I know. It just has one level of stuff instead of like 4 levels of
Because
stuff.
I've been going through and trying to like sort it and clean it and try to throw stuff away. But it's still, like, if you're not used to it, you'd be maybe a little bit shook.
Horrified. Shook is the nice way to say it.
Is that nice?
Horrified.
I can just imagine somebody coming over.
You know, if you're not a crafter and you walk into a crafting space, probably most of you, I know some of you are very clean with your spaces, but I know a lot of you are like us and you have things everywhere. And if anybody else walked in that space, they'd be a little horrified maybe, especially if they're one of those people that are meticulous about their housekeeping.
Ours is not. We're not like that.
We are not like that. I never grew up in a family meticulous about housekeeping.
I'm meticulous before company comes.
Yes, as meticulous as we can be.
No, I'm meticulous, but needs must.
Right.
Like you get to a certain point, and then it's the acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, you go through denial, and the grief,
and the anger, and the bargaining.
Yeah, I've done all of it. All of the stages of grief when company comes
and they have to see your house in whatever state you've been able to get it to.
And then finally acceptance.
Yeah, because we all have this image of how our houses should be when company comes, right?
I think it's also a cultural thing. Like my mom was really, and she still is like this, where you have to clean before our company comes, and you have to make it a certain way. And you have to prepare gifts and different things like that. And so I've always been like that.
I had some friends growing up who their moms were stay-at-home moms, and their houses, like the plastic was on the furniture.
How's that even comfortable?
I know, but it wasn't. But they did that, and the plastic was clean, right? Everything. They had the flowers and the vases and everything. Like it was
like a full-time job.
Like you would walk in and it would look like a museum. Like you were afraid to sit places, and it, like, to me that was never comfortable, but to me it was kind of amazing. And it's kind of like that's what I have in my head that a house should be when company comes, which is not what most people actually do.
But you know, we don't live like that anymore.
No.
I think that's a holdover of like receiving.
It is a holdover, and we grew up in that transitional time when there was still that holdover in some cases.
Like who has a formal like
entryway and
like a formal living room only to receive company?
Right. Some people do or did.
I mean, if you do have that, that's awesome. But for us, it just does not make sense for us to have like our dining room. Like I can't remember the last time we've eaten.
We've eaten in the dining room. Suzanne says, "I'll post my earrings I made with the home pendant." Nice.
Oh, good.
Nice. Sanderson, make your bed. Yes, make your bed and make my bed and was my bed clothes. Susie said, "Make my bed and wash my bed clothes." Oh yeah.
We do that.
Hey, Julie is here.
Not as frequently as we should, but
Terry says, "That's fine. I'm patient. Thank you. We appreciate that because I know yours has been out there a little bit because I invoiced it a different way, and that's why. And I gotta get that done for you." Sandra said, "I dropped my computer off at 2 a.m. I was told I had to drop my computer with problem person at the end. I dropped it off at IT, so glad it's over." Good. All good. Sandra's on her way.
Yeah.
On her way.
When do you move, Sandra?
You're moving at the start of June here, right? That's, I think, what you said. When do you start? Teresa is here. Hello, Teresa.
We're going to be closed on Friday.
Yes, we're going to be closed in the physical store on Friday. Andrew and I have a trip to make. And we're not going to be back in time. So the physical store in Johnstown for the third week we're open is going to be closed on Friday. But we're hopefully going to have some really good stuff when we get back. Maybe. We'll see.
I think so.
I think so too. Suzanne says, "I need to go through and get rid of some things I'll never use." Yes. That's exactly, we keep saying it. And we have been like little by little doing that, but we need to do like I say we need to do it, but that would like require probably a dumpster. But I don't know if we want to get to the dumpster stage yet, but we do. Andrew's like, yes, I do. He's like, I want to get rid of everything.
No, not everything. But it is one of those things, like we keep talking about downsizing a little bit. And when we moved the shop, we realized we just have too much stuff. And
yeah, when this shop move took over our garage and our basement and our entire like first floor of our house, we realized we've got too much.
But the last store was larger and there was no storage, so we had to make our own stuff.
Yeah, we had to make our own stuff,
make furniture, make storage.
And we did buy a lot of, not buy, but we had a lot of the furniture. We did buy some things, but we had a lot of furniture from the other stores that we also added to make this store work.
Like there's a bunch of IKEA stuff.
And then we moved into our building and it had all these shelves. And so we didn't need...
were built into the floor.
Yeah, they're attached somehow into the floor.
So if they were just loose or whatever, we had to took it all out probably and put our regular furniture in.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have enough to start a second store.
For now, until we get that dumpster.
He's like, no.
Hey, if you're gonna get me a stationery shop, I think about it.
Thinking more like
a paper shop, a papery, a papery and a pennery.
Paper pen,
papers and pens.
PP,
P and P.
The PP store.
The PP store. No, thank you. Marian says most crafters seem to be messy types. I think that is. You know, there are some crafters we know that are immaculate in their organization, but for the majority, whether they show it or not, or admit it or not, I think most people who craft are a little bit messy. I think it's the exception if you are an immaculate, cleanly, organized person.
I don't think cleanly because it's
not
cleanly
dirty.
Sounds like it's dirty.
Organized.
But for me, like I know where everything is. It does not look like it should, like I should, but literally you can say, "Where is this?" and I can tell, geolocate it for you.
Generally, he knows exactly. Hello, Anne. Thanks for joining us. Anne says, "I would eat off my parents' floors still, and they're in their 80s. But anything falls on my floor, it's straight into the trash."
Correct.
Yeah. Terry says, I always do the floors before someone comes over, right? It's like, it's not the only time you do your floors, but it's that's the main time you do your floors, right?
There are some floors I do more.
Yeah.
Like I do
the bathroom floor.
More.
Yeah.
The kitchen floor more.
Yeah.
The rest of the house, company.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever there's a need, basically.
Sandra says, my parents did a formal living room. Terry says, our house is small, open our front door, and you are in our living room. Yeah, we have a little entryway. We do have an entryway, which doesn't it's
not that small.
Most people come in our house through the back door, actually, and that's the kitchen. So they enter through the kitchen, because if we're going to have people over, usually we're sitting, that's when we actually do use the dining room.
You know, I always know when somebody hasn't been over before because they knock on the front door.
Yeah, if you come over to our house and knock on the front door, we know that you've not been there. Because everyone else comes to the back door.
We don't even use it. I don't even think there's batteries in our front door.
On the lock, no. The batteries went dead, so we have to use the key.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a keypad.
We have a Wi-Fi lock. Cheryl says, howdy, just got in a walk with Lawrence. Larry. Second week of June is move time, says Sandra. I was waiting to try and schedule a heart CT, but nothing is available till July 1st, and I'm not waiting. I'll just get it done up there. Get up there. Get your move, right? Angeles has been thinking I need to reclaim my dining room, but I like the sunlight and the table. Yeah, sometimes, sometimes the dining room is best to use for crafting, right? It just is the case.
The living room floor is mine.
Yeah, Andrew likes to sit on the living room floor.
Because I get to be with it. See, Sometimes, like, I don't mind spending time at the cottage. Well, there's some things I like to be at home for because there's a bathroom at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like to see the cats. So
Yeah.
but then I also don't like to see them too much.
When you're working.
Tallulah starts stealing stuff,
Yeah,
and
she
it
does.
drives me crazy. At 7 o'clock, she's like, "What am I going to steal today?"
Yeah. Teresa says, I must admit, I am very neat and organized. That's good. I'm not one of those. Never been one of those people. I aspire to, in my mind, I aspire to one of them, but I am not one of them.
I think I am in a conceptual way, in the sense that, like, if I could have like a team of people to work on it, then I would do it.
If you never had to pick anything up.
No,
and just tell people where it goes.
Because I like to have things be orderly and have everything be in like its space and stuff.
But if you didn't actually have to be the one doing it,
I just don't have time. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Is like there has not been a time, at least lately, where I did not have something that I had to be doing.
Yeah. Like my grandparents, my grandmother kept her house fairly organized. For the most part, she had little piles of stuff here and there sometimes, mostly paperwork and stuff. And I remember going through her house, like at night, you come down to the kitchen and everything. She always cleaned the kitchen before bed. That was one of the things she always did. And sometimes we get to that, sometimes we don't. And it was kind of nice. Like I'd go down and I'd make some tea, and it was always like, but then you always felt like you had to really clean up after. Like it was one of those things.
That's good, I guess.
So it's kind of good. I kind of sometimes miss that. But my house growing up was not like that. My house was...
Oh, your mom is busy.
My mom was a single mom, and she was busy, and we were teenagers or kids, and we were not... no teenager wants to clean, generally, unless you're a little OCD. Then maybe you do. But yeah, we grew up in a house that was always constantly, people were revolving in and out and leaving at odd times. And my mom worked night shift for a while. And so it was interesting. And that's kind of the way I am. Anne says, Teresa, I envy you. Suzanne said, these cats shed so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And the cats, they make, I don't believe it when people say that cats don't make a mess. They're like, oh, my cat's an angel. They never make a mess. Our cats tear up everything, daily. Knock stuff down. Daily. They make messes in secret.
Yeah.
And then you discover their mess making.
It's true.
Like Tallulah, she had like knocked all the stuff behind. I think it was one of the bookcases in the dining room. And when I pulled that apart to move some stuff, I was like, what in the heck is all this garbage that she had like secreted away for her own particular use?
Yeah. Teresa says, we live in a one-room schoolhouse with one closet we use for linens.
That's good.
That would be this has been broken up, but it'd be kind of like here. But having one room, you have to really be probably get things. I don't know how you do that. Get things organized. It's like an open concept, I guess. Very open concept. Susan says, I wish I could be more organized, but that's not happening. Marion says, I like clean and organized at my job since it impacts others, but am not at home. Yeah, whenever I had an office or a desk in a job space, I kept it very neat and very organized.
You generally like to keep your office pretty organized.
I do prefer to have my workspace. Like my computer and workspace, I like to, if I sit down at my desk, I like to be able to get to work, not have to like tidy up before I'm there. But in the rest of my home life, it's like a little willy-nilly. Let's just say that. Terry says, I have one cat and she's a slob. Right. Anne says, Daniel Tiger sheds so much more than Moo Kitty did. It's crazy. He also chews paper, so there are bits of paper everywhere sometimes. But he makes life so much better. It's true, they do, right? Marianne says, hairballs and fur, eek. Yeah, hairballs.
Not my
When you
favorite.
discover a hairball like behind the sofa, or you're
That's
like,
when you discover it with your foot.
that's
That's
walking,
the
coming down the
worst.
stairs, and you discover it with your foot. Yeah. Susan says our
Yeah.
cats are fallen angels.
That means bad, right?
That means bad, right? Hello, Norma. Thanks for joining us. So we've had up to like 26 people watching. We're down to 18 now, talking about messy stuff. People they're getting horrified by the truth.
The truth talk is going to clear some people.
I know, right? Teresa grew up with a mom that did craft sewing and needlework. She always had things neat and organized. She taught me the same way. Yeah, I think it does come sometimes from parents.
They're trained.
They're trained that way, but also I think sometimes some people just are and some just aren't, right?
I think it's what you're used to, right?
Could
you
be.
try to emulate what you grew up with.
Except, like my mom, my grandmother was pretty neat and orderly. My mom was less. My aunt is very much, but my aunt also took care of the other siblings when my grandmother worked. So it was one of those things. She grew up keeping the house in order. So she is still very neat and orderly. And if she doesn't need something, she throws it out.
Because I was like, oh, do you have any cream of tartar? And she said, I did until last week. She said, I hadn't used it in like a couple weeks and I threw it out.
Yeah, she is very much like she doesn't waste generally, but you know, she's one of those people that like she would never keep, like I keep my boxes for electronics. Unnecessary. Instruction unnecessary. Like things that, you know,
I would pitch it.
She's like plastic containers, unnecessary. Things like that. Unless she's going to use them and has a actual purpose in mind for them, generally. I think if she's retired, she's become a little bit less like that. But she also like she's just always been like that. She's always had a very orderly house. It's always everything's been in order.
But her mind is more orderly too.
Yeah, she's a very organizational person.
Like me, I am not like that.
She was the director of operations at work, so
like my brain goes in like a meadow. It's not like a path. It's not like a straight path. Mine is kind of like a meadow.
Yeah, Teresa says, I'm the oldest daughter, so I would do the housework after school. See, that's another thing too. I'm the oldest too, and I should have done more of that stuff. But I was a good kid, but I was also, you know, I guess I also dealt with a lot. I saw the majority of what my mom and dad were going through, and my dad's addiction and being gay and being picked on most days. So I had my own stuff going on too. Susan says, I hate the foot meeting the hairball. Yuck. I know. Marion says, oh yes, the icky surprises.
Like my dad was in the military and he wanted everything to be like
you got dust checked.
Yeah, we did. So like sometimes in the middle of the night he'd like come in and like flip the bed and go underneath the bed with a ruler that had tape on the back of it. And if there was stuff on it, then we had to clean the house in the middle of the night and stuff. And one time I was really bad, so I had to clean the floor with a toothbrush and stuff like that. So
cleaning was not a good experience.
No, it was punishment. That was what it was like. What in my mind it was like reinforced punishment.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I going to punish myself? But I do like it when things are kind of organized.
Like sometimes my one aunt, she would do some house cleaning sometimes for an extra bit of money here and there. So if my mom and dad did have a little bit of extra and things were good between everybody, sometimes she'd come over and do that. And I remember coming home from school and I was like, how is this our house? Like, what? This is like, it never looks like this, but it would be like spotless. But then you also like couldn't find things because they were put away in different places, and things that were normally out on the counters were put away. Like it was that kind of thing. So it was like, yes, it was spotless, but it also wasn't functional all the time that way.
Like our studio, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like the store. It just takes time for everything to find its home.
Yeah.
And like we have been in such a transitional state. I mean, we've moved pretty much except for the pandemic, every 2 years, we've had some kind of major
moving,
move
changing.
of some kind. Either it's a shop or our house or a studio space or something. And so it just takes time for things to kind of
jive.
And also, we don't really have a lot of time, so that's
we do like to rest a little bit sometimes.
And we don't even get to do that.
Not too much.
Because then I'm like,
I slept in a little bit today, and I was almost late to hang out with Barb today, and that was not good.
And sleep, and he got up, what, 10?
Something like that, yeah. Went to bed at 2 or 3. Angela said, first graders' desks and bookings tell the story. Some kids stuff others are naturally neat. Yeah, you know, when I would get ready for school, my stuff was neat. Like I got like a Trapper Keeper, or I liked those kind of folders, and every subject had its own little folder. But then like that's how I started. And I still like I start my new year, I like to get a planner, and I like to get a thing.
I told William he can keep the planner from the year before, just cross out
all the dates. Because ultimately, as the year goes on, even in school, things got just jammed into the folder of the Trapper Keeper, and it got closed. I tried, but I didn't.
What about the kids that would cram stuff in the back and then made the front neat?
Oh, I don't know about that.
That was me.
That was you. See, I did, like I had a notebook for every subject, and I made sure I used the right notebook for the right subject. So I was pretty neat in my, like I didn't generally throw things in my book bag without them going in. I didn't come up with these crinkle papers that I handed in and stuff. But so my work life, I've always tried, even when it was school, tried to keep it pretty neat. But my home life is another story that I wish I could get on board with a little bit. But cleaning, like you said, it wasn't as bad as you, but cleaning was always felt like a punishment. Like it was just something like you had to do. And so I never had fun cleaning.
I think we just need to get a housekeeper.
If someday we can afford a housekeeper, I am by like 100% on board.
We just have to manifest it.
We have to manifest a housekeeper, and we have to get over the fact, like, we have to do that one big cleaning before the housekeeper comes in.
That was the thing, is like, I can't remember who it was, and they're like, I'm so exhausted from cleaning. I was like, don't you have a housekeeper? And she is like, I had to clean before the housekeeper came.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I would feel like that.
And I was like, that doesn't that defeat the purpose? And she's like, no, I just feel like she would judge me.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. I know he's not the best example, but my former boss, he had no qualms with letting the housekeeper see his house. Like every dish in his kitchen was used and in the sink and unclean every week when his housekeepers came in. So if he cooked on the stove had the saucepans and things and the splatter and the everything, and the dishes were all in the sink and they were not clean. And he left, when he came home, he grabbed his mail from the front door mailbox, and he took the things he wanted, and the rest he threw right on the floor in the entryway. So his entryway always had mail thrown on the floor. He read books, like he read a lot. So he would take his books out of his library room and they'd be on the floor too. Like he did not mind. And when the housekeeper came in, every week, he lost so many housekeepers because every week it was that bad. Like it was like he did not
pick. But that's when you have money, you get silly.
He had a lot of money. So he did not have to pick up after himself at all, ever. And And he did not mind. He would sit in the kitchen talking on the phone to people at work, or sit in the kitchen and read while they cleaned the kitchen for him and did all his dishes and did all his cleaning. Um, and you know what? If you're going to have housekeepers, you know, it's good that, I mean, they're going to, they're always going to have a job there. But like, you're never not, yeah, you have job security there.
You never have to worry about coming into a clean house.
Right. But at the same point, like, to have that mentality that you just really don't care what people think. Like, you are such an important, busy person that the whole cleaning thing doesn't apply to you.
That must be nice.
I know, right? Like, can you imagine not having to think, what are people going to think when they walk in here? Instead, just being like, I'm busy. I'm too busy for this. That's why I hire people to do it.
It must be nice. I don't know what that's like.
I have no idea what that would be like. I have the shame. I would have to clean the house, no matter how clean it was. I would have to like run the vacuum and do the dusting before the housekeeper came in.
Yeah.
Maybe over time, like the first housekeeper visit, the house looks immaculate. Then over time, you slowly get into your real routine.
You know, though, if I can do it, if I get a chance, I clean and then it's just maintaining.
Yeah.
I like that. Like with the store, I like to have the store clean and then you just maintain.
And it's easier to maintain. But when you have these big moves like we've had every 2 years, it's like finding space for everything all over again.
Yeah.
Every time, and then maintaining somehow. It's been challenging. And this time we have failed.
No.
For now. We've failed for now. We just got to get our house in order. Teresa says, my daughter has a housekeeper that does the heavy cleaning once a month. My daughter has cystic fibrosis, so can't use bleach and other cleaners. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Marion says, I did learn how to clean properly, quote, properly. We had to hand wax our bedroom floors weekly in our older house, but not in the new one.
Skip.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing that you need to wax it every week?
Hand wax.
How big is the room, though? That's the thing. Like, if it's like a joy, like, I actually like waxing the floor. That's one thing that I actually like. But,
it's like, there are certain things I like. Like, I grew up, my grandmother, like, I would help her clean her floors. And she had a little bucket, and she had a sponge, and she used Pine Sol, or no, maybe it was Murphy's oil. Murphy's oil or Pine Sol. Sometimes it was either one. And I still get the flashbacks of how good that smelled. And we would get on our hands and knees and we'd scrub the floor, because she didn't have a mop or anything, because she thought that the water got dirty and then just mopping with dirty water. So we'd have a sponge and a scrubby sponge, and we'd get on the floor and we'd do that. And, you know, I wouldn't mind doing that if that's the thing that we had to do. Mm-hmm. Like, but when you are, as you all know, most of you are crazy busy with other things. It's like Swiffer time now. Like, and as much as I hate Swiffer because they are just, you know, filling landfills. Yeah, they're not recyclable. They're not. There's been articles. They're not great for landfills.
Oh wow.
I know. And it's
I guess you can replace those pads with like a paper towel.
Probably. But yeah, so it's you know what it is. You know what it's like to be busy, right?
I think also the way we live is just different. Like,
yeah, if you have somebody, a spouse or a partner, not one of them is staying home generally. At least not staying home and not working on something. It's not like when one person could support a family of 4 or 5 or 6. And so on one income, if that were the case, if Andrew could go work and I could stay home, then we could just.
Then it would still be messy.
He's like, it would still be messy.
Yeah, I know. Like when we first got together, I was like, you probably maybe had the same thing, but I'm messy in a different way. He's messy in a different way. I was like, I just have to get over this.
Yeah, there were things, of course, when you meet somebody and you're with there are things you just, for the sake of the relationship you just get over, right?
Because I'm messy, but I'm messy in like a paper, like in craft supply way.
Craft bombs.
And things that can be sold.
Things that can be sold, whether they ever make it or not, right?
He is messy in a not can be sold way.
Not can be sold way. It's true. It's true. I'm not great at, like, you'll see me throw socks on the floor. I'm one of those people.
I don't do that.
I'll take off my sock because I hate wearing socks, for one.
I like socks in winter.
Socks in winter, fine, but not in the house. Once I'm in the house, the socks come off. So socks get thrown places, and towels sometimes get thrown places, right? I'm kind of that kind of.
He does this thing where he puts his clothes that can be worn on the back of the chair.
I'm going to wear these again, these clothes on the back of the chair. I end up with a pile of clothes like this that can technically be worn again, but I never do. And then sooner or later, I just throw them in the laundry.
Because they get dirty again by overcoming.
By being on the, right? So I'm like, you know what? I probably should just clean these again. So then they end up sitting there for like a week or two. And then finally, I just throw everything in the laundry again.
Are
so
you like that?
Yeah. Anybody else like that?
Are you a chair? What would you call that? A chair keeper?
A chair keeper. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those. I'm a chair. Things get thrown on the chair. That's why I'm afraid to get a treadmill. Because
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Because things would end up on the treadmill hanging there.
Your workout bench is now.
My workout bench holds our incoming packages and mail.
But we also get more. So here's the other thing. Like, I get it. We because we can't send packages to the new store, we have to send them to the house. So before, I used to have all of our packages sent to the store.
Yeah,
so,
everything went to the store, business address. It was super easy.
And we had a dumpster, and you could just process the stuff, and it would be fine. With our house, it gets jammed up.
Yeah.
Because we have trash service, but we don't have a dumpster.
No.
And I feel bad because we're supposed to be allowed to have 2 trash cans for our trash pickup, and sometimes we go a little bit over. Yeah. And so I feel like that. Like, I hate to do that every single week.
Yeah, because
then we get charged.
Right. So yeah, so sometimes we get stocked up on boxes, mainly boxes, and then sometimes they come here and get burned. Yeah. When it's not too dry or too windy or all that.
We have that to do.
Yeah. Teresa says, I still get on my hands and knees to clean the kitchen and bathroom floors. I sometimes do for the kitchen and the bathroom. I do sometimes for the kitchen and bathroom when I clean them. But lately it's been Swiffers.
I cleaned the bathroom at the new store. I don't know if you noticed that. I may have messed up my back some more than that.
Marion says, yes, sort of for my home-only clothes. Home-only clothes, right? Or the clothes that you wore, like, to the grocery store when you just had to make that quick trip. That's what I do.
Clothes.
Huh?
You play clothes.
Play clothes. You got your house clothes, and then you have your work clothes, and then you have your I went on an excursion real quick clothes. And
I basically only have work clothes now, which is a different topic.
Norma says, I'm definitely a pilot on the chair person. I try to reform, but so far without success. Yeah. I don't really have a chair exactly. I have the laundry line down in the basement.
We have a laundry line. It's so that you can hang your delicates or stuff that you can't put in the dryer.
In the dryer, originally.
But we use it for a closet and for the in-between times.
And for sometimes when the big blankets don't get dry all the way in the dryer, I hang them on the line too.
They always dry when I do it.
if you run it like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
also, did you know if you put a dry towel in with a dry towel in with your blanket when you dry it, it dries faster.
Did not know that.
I don't know why, but it seems to work.
Teresa says, my husband throws things in the treadmill. I have to clean it off every time I use it. So annoying. See, that would probably be me.
How do you have room for a treadmill in a one-room schoolhouse?
I think that's the other Teresa.
I
think the other Teresa has the one-room schoolhouse, if I'm not mistaken. I usually shop after I come home. Wait, I usually shop after work before I come home. See, you work at a grocery store. That makes sense.
Do you shop at your work?
I think she said she does the other day.
Do they try to get you to work while you're shopping?
Yeah, that would be hard, right?
Because when I used to work at a restaurant, I could never ever eat there.
Actually go in and eat there.
Because I'd always get roped into. Well, I mean, like I would eat there if I was like on my lunch break or whatever, eating.
But you don't go home and then go there out to eat.
No, never. Because then I would start working.
Yeah.
Like they'd start asking me questions and.
Yeah, that was like the Coventry once I started working there. I could never just go in and have a drink or.
You went there twice. Of that, how many years did you work there? 8 years. Something
like that. Yeah, because I mean, I was there every week, but we didn't go very often. Andrew didn't come up very often for that because I was working generally. And if I did go, I usually got questions or ended up going upstairs or in the back to work on things or check out the computer.
Even I got roped into working.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't.
Like, I'm not here for this. I'm not here for that.
I just came here to eat.
Right. Yeah. When I was younger, though, in high school, I would go to the Coventry all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I used to go out with friends there all the time because I worked and I made money and my mom let us use our money for whatever we wanted. So I usually took friends out to eat most weekends. So we ate at the Coventry very often when I was in high school.
Wow. Fancy.
I know. It was very fancy. I left very good tips, too, until I worked with the people I left tips to. And they weren't nice people sometimes. And I know that was a bad thing to learn, a difficult lesson to learn. So, yeah. Anyway.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it because we've got to go home and make food. And I've got luster pendants to work on tonight and some other things, too. So today, if you didn't see the description, we have loose beads again. We're doing loose beads. Y'all seem to love those. So we're going to do some more of them. And they are going to be all different kinds. We have some vintage plastic and lucite tonight. We have some gemstones. We have some shell. We have some vintage Japanese glass. Lots of different things. And I think we're giving you pretty good prices on these. Hopefully you like them. They're going to be ones that you can buy individually. These are not strands of things. They are loose beads. You're buying them one at a time. The price indicated on the lot paper will tell you how much each bead costs. These are great things. Think of them kind of like quick earrings, things that you could use for bracelets, things that you could add to your stash for adding special things for necklaces, things like that. I don't know that we have enough of most of these that you would create an entire necklace with, but we've kind of gone around the studio here today and just kind of picked things that we thought you might like, and they are random. So let's take a look. All right, let me flip this camera around. Do you like the loose beads? You still like the loose beads, everybody? Hopefully after this you'll still like the loose beads. I like doing things this way because it gives everybody a chance. Even if you have a small budget, generally, even with a small budget, you can get a few nice beads to make some earrings or some things like that. Let me flip. Nope, I did flip the camera. I need the banner. That's what I need. To purchase from this video, you're going to take down each lot number that you see on the paper that we put down, send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. These are going to start with Z. These are Z numbers. We haven't used Z in a while, and Barb was like, can we please do XYZ? So I'm doing that. Even though she's leaving for a bit, we're going to start with Z. So this is Z1. If you like Z1, they're 25 cents each. And I wrote each on all of them, I think, but this first one. 25 cents each. There are 24 of them available. You send Z1 in the subject line of an email to info@allegorygallery.com. That's up here and also scrolling down here. And if you want Z1 times 5, for example, or you want to spend $1, Z1 times 4, you can do that. So Z1 is this vintage lucite ring. And there is no hole in these. The ring is the hole itself. But they have the coloring on the inside of the ring, which I think is really cool. And gives you that hint of coloring there. And you could use these in a lot of, you could technically drill these yourself if you wanted to, but you could also wrap them around, and you could use them maybe with some silk. You could tie some silk to them, use them as a little pendant around silk if you wanted to. They could dangle other things from it if you wanted to. Lots of ways that you could use these loops. They are Z1. They are 25 cents each only. Vintage lucite rings. And they are multiple colors of blue. Light and dark blue with the white. Z1, 25 cents each. We have 30 lots tonight. We were going to go higher, but we said we need to get our stuff done here. And for Monday, let's start off pretty easy, right? So Z1, 25 cents each. And I do not have any of my other devices here today. I ran out of the house without them, so I'm not streaming on Instagram, unfortunately. And also, I do not have to tell you if any are selling out. So we're just going to play it by ear here. Next up are Z2, and these are 25 cents each also. This is the green version of the Z1. So vintage lucite. Oh, let me give you also. So these are just about 25 millimeters, and this way they are about 3.7, 3.8. They're probably actually, yeah, they're an inch. They're an inch by about 1/8 of an inch. And we have 30 of those available. Z2, 25 cents each. I think the talking portion of tonight's probably going to be longer than the show. My guess. I don't know. We'll see. It was nice to chat with y'all a little bit, though. Catch up. What am I doing here? Where did I put that other one? There it is. I need to get myself a box for these. I'll just put them down here.
I like to talk to people.
I know. It's nice when we do the talking, I think.
It's like being in the real store.
I know. We talk a lot in the real store. If you've never been able to visit, we talk a lot.
Now, if you ever come to the store and you need to go, you need to say that first.
Yeah, you need to be like, I'm in a hurry. I just need to grab my stuff and go. And then we'll be like, okay, what can we help you with? But
Our
otherwise,
feelings will not be hurt.
no, we get it. But if you don't say that, we're going to ask you, what's going on with your day? How are you? What's happening? Let's tell us about your whole family and life.
And then I may ask questions that you don't want to answer.
And it's okay if you say that too. I don't want to answer, Andrew. Z3, these are little rings. These are vintage lucite rings. Again, these are the small versions. These are all black, and they're 15 cents each. Vintage lucite rings, 15 cents each. There are 20 of them available. Just simple black rings, which are very useful, I think, for making various things.
They're great for earrings.
Great for earrings. They would be great to dangle from other things. You could dangle, make a little charm thing from them.
Like, did you see Lennis's? I think it was Lennis who posted that piece with a rainbow folk wall, and then there was chain.
All the chain and dangles.
Yeah,
that look good.
That keeps it from being like super heavy duty.
Yeah. Okay, Z4, 50 cents each only on these. These are purple and white and black. Vintage lucite beads. And these are just about 16 millimeters.
I think those are from Italy.
Italy. Italian vintage lucite. There are only 7 of them available. They are 50 cents each. Those make some very cool earrings too. Super light because they are lucite.
I hope people like it because all the stuff we have tonight because we have to pay gas money.
Got the gas money.
We're going on a trip.
Going on a trip. This
Picking up and
weekend.
dropping off.
Well, this not even the weekend. The
We're,
end of this week.
We have to drop off some paintings and have to pick up.
Ooh, I thought I priced these a little higher. I priced these nice and low. Z5.
I love those. I kept those. Look at the butts. Aren't those
Oh,
so
I didn't even look
cool?
at that. See, I was gonna price these at like $5, and for some reason I wrote 3. So
No, that's
there you go.
I
$3.
love those. They're nice and light.
And they already have the built-in loops.
The bell.
The bells are on there. They are Z5, $3 each. There are 8 of them available.
Put an ear wire on and call it a day.
Right. Gold ear wire, done. Done.
You could put Marianne's favorite color, pink, and then it would be like you're like in a Parisian.
There you go. They're about 14 millimeters
Eat the macaron. How do
by
you call it?
33.5. Macaron.
One time I called a macaron a macaroon, and I got schooled.
Macaroon. Yeah, one's like the macaroons are like coconut, right? And then a macaron.
And that dude was like, "We have both."
Which do you want?
I was like, "The colorful one," and he was like,
Macaron.
"That's not how you say that."
Macaron.
He cursed me out, but it was good, so I can't say anything.
Right. So these are vintage lucite orange, bright orange little rounds. These are fun. These are about 12 millimeters. These are 35 cents each. There are 10 of them available.
They were like, it was like passion flower confit or something inside, and like kissed by angels and of a citrus fruit, and they were delicious.
And you're like, okay, you can correct me.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that actually, but not maybe so sassy. But
were they French?
He pretended like it.
Okay.
But
yeah, they that's the thing. Like everyone says the French are rude, and sometimes maybe they come across rude that way. But anytime I was in France, they were very polite, but they did correct me.
That's good.
Like they had, like they were okay with correcting you. Like, and it's really generally to help you learn. They're very proud of their language. So it's generally not meant, I don't think, to be rude unless you're rude back.
You know, some people don't like to be corrected, though.
Yeah, and get offended by being corrected. But in their culture, correction of the language is just a thing.
But this
they're
guy
helping
had
you.
An eye roll too.
Oh well, then that's not. That may not be so nice. These are 50 cents each. These are African glass.
She was like that little girl, that Mila or whatever her name is. When she was talking about how she's so happy for them, and she's roll her eyes into the next dimension.
Susan says those other ones look like tiny oranges, and said, "Yes, I'm thinking to use them with some fruit beads."
Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be cute, right?
And then they're matte too, so they look kind of
extra nice.
Fruity.
Fruity tooty. Tutti fruity.
No more tutti fruity.
No more.
So I work for this. I don't know if y'all know this. Some of y'all might not know this if you're new to us. But I used to work for publishing, and I would do tech editing, and I would help do look at pick different projects and stuff. And I wrote this memo that went out that said no more tutti frutti. Like, and you have to imagine it in the voice of no more wire hangers.
No more tutti frutti.
Because invariably, whether as a winter issue, fall issue, spring issue, summer issue, any kind of issue, special issue, there's always somebody submit something called tutti frutti. I was like, if we Google like you search tutti frutti, you're gonna have about 1100
1100
projects come up, and they all different.
Yeah, when you do that, you're not differentiating yourself from the others very well.
Well, but it was also one of those things where, like, if somebody went in the archives and looked up somebody's project,
yeah,
it would come up by the project name. But
these are 12 millimeters, and they look like little Earths.
Little planets.
I
did get in trouble.
35 cents each.
I did get in trouble for getting too expressive and free with the names. And so I was real good friends with Heather Wynn Milliken, and we used to listen to this song by the Weepies. And this was a time when you couldn't, like, I guess the internet was still a thing, but it was before you could, like, look up lyrics, like, reliably.
Yeah.
And so there's a line that says, "And we'll live like kings." And I kept thinking it was Little Hakeem. And I was like, who's Hakeem?
Little
Is that,
Hakeem.
like, her little brother or something? Like, why is she, like, singing about Little Hakeem so hard? And so we did this thing, and this is probably of the MySpace generation, where we'd put song lyrics into the names of the titles of the jewelry. So then there was one that was called, like, My Bright Red Boots or something. And so if you look at some of those old issues of String Magazine, you can see, like, their song lyrics. And that Little Hakeem made it in.
Little Hakeem.
And the editor was like, what the hell is this? And we just laughed and laughed.
Z9, 15 cents each on these, 20 of them available.
And you had to write descriptions too. And I wrote some of the most flowery descriptions ever. And she was like, could we, like, make it so that we can sell the beads? Because this is not, or, like, sell the designs. Because she's like, because this is real esoteric.
If you've ever read Andrew's writing, you may know.
Yeah, but that was like, it was like the sun on your face and of the happy times and memories. And then she's like, good use for dangles if you want a fun and flirty look to transition from day to night.
Right. Z10, these beautiful glass beads, faceted rounds, $1.50 each only, 16 millimeters, 6 of them available, and that's it.
I like those. They're bottle glass green.
Yeah, those are really cool.
I'll see if I can find Little Hakeem.
Little Hakeem.
And my bright red boots.
Z10, $1.50 each. Beautiful bottle green glass faceted rounds, 16 millimeters.
Let me see if it comes up on the Google.
Little Hakeem. Z11, $1.50 each. Hand carved agates.
It did not come up. But there is somebody named Alexander Hakeem.
$1.50 each. There are 8 of these available. Hand carved agate. And this agate is slightly purpley in color.
That's it's jade.
Oh, it's jade. So hand carved jade in a purple jade.
And it's probably been augmented.
Yeah. There you go. $1.50 each. Those make really pretty earrings, right? I think so. $1.50 each. Z11.
Are people liking
Oh, did
it?
I do this size? I don't think I gave you the size. Let me give you the size. About 15 millimeters on these. I don't know if people are liking them. Nobody's saying anything, and I don't have my email to see if anybody's buying anything. Hopefully. They like the oranges, it looked like. People talked about those. Z12. These are round carnelians. Suzanne's back had, quote, chicken enchiladas. Faux chicken.
Good.
Does sound good. We had some tacos the last few nights.
They were good.
15 millimeters, Z12, $1.50 each for this. This is beautiful carnelian, by the way. I don't know if you're seeing this.
That's from one of my projects I was going to use.
Anne says, I like them all. Thank
I
you.
make what's called treasure necklaces, and so one of the reasons why I make those treasure necklaces is because we had a problem, and it wasn't really a problem. It was one of those things where I think people didn't realize that like there's a difference between like copying a design and being inspired by it.
Mm-hmm,
And so we had people who would like try to copy my designs and like bead for bead.
Yeah.
And then they would kind of sell it and not necessarily say that it wasn't mine. So it was kind of not my favorite. So I started collecting all these like really random, weird, hard to find beads so that even if somebody tried to copy them, they could never do it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that when people see Andrew's necklaces in the store and they say, oh, can I get this bead? It's not available.
Usually not.
Yeah.
Sometimes every once in a while.
Yeah, sometimes we'll have them, but for the most part, you can't find them
in the shop.
We just don't. He keeps them himself.
For my own particular use.
Of course, if you watch these lives enough, you could probably put together some of those necklaces.
I mean, yeah, but I doubt people.
Look at these lemon drops here. Not quite drops.
They're like a kumquat.
These are 75 cents each. Beautiful, beautiful, bright yellow color in these. These are vintage lucite. And they are rondelles. And they are approximately, let's see, 17.7 millimeters by 12 and a half.
What flavor do you think it is?
These look lemony to me. They look like those lemon candies.
Oh, I want some.
In that they come in that white cardboard box, and they haven't changed in years.
You know, I noticed at the convenience store they don't sell hard candy anymore. It's
no, not so
gummy.
much. It's gummy stuff. A lot of gummy stuff.
I love a good gummy, but I was like, maybe the teeth want to like have a workout.
Right. Yeah, I went to that Bentley's hardware store, and they have all those old candies, like the root beer hard candies and licorice ones, and
so far that's not for me, but
and they have, well, they have like, I think they have a mint one, and there's a weird root one. Something.
Is it Whorehound?
Yes, I think so.
That one is basically if licorice and root beer had a baby.
Oh, I might like that.
And then did they have the
Suzanne says, how many lots tonight? 30 lots tonight.
So you're halfway there almost?
Yep, we're Z14. I've only got 2 of these, and they're $2 each. These are vintage lucite.
Do y'all like the vintage lucite?
Marianne says those look like lemon drops. Anne says, I love Whorehound. I've never had Whorehound. I guess I need to, because those are 2 things I really like. 17.3 millimeters. Again, this is probably like a, it's not either. 17.3 millimeters. Probably meant to be 17 millimeters. Look at those, though. Look how beautiful those are.
What's that one flavor? It's like a mint flavor, but it's from a pink berry.
Whorehound is also throat soothing, says Marianne. Huh. My dad used to bring Whorehound home from business trips. I think that might be what it was at that store. I have to look again next time I'm there. But it was like all those kind of old, I forget what brand it was. It was a particular brand. They had all these kind of old-fashioned hard candies. I was very tempted to get them. All right, next up, rhodonite.
Did anybody say the name of that ice cream that's pink
Not yet.
and it's minty? Kind of reminds me of those beads.
Rhodonite beads, $2 each. These are these little twisted column beads.
The color looks good on them.
The color is really good on these. These are about 8.5 millimeters by 20. And these have really deep, rich, they almost look like ruby. Like they're really pink.
And now there's one that has a little bit more black.
Yeah, this one has a little bit more black than the rest.
But there are other ones.
This one has a little bit on there. Like if you're getting pairs, those two would probably be the pair, and then the rest of these don't have much black at all.
Shrewberry, was that a thing?
That one has, maybe that would be the pair.
I found it out in a walk one day, and they're like, oh, they make gum out of that. In like the old times when the West was wine.
Suzanne says, Cinnamon is prettying herself up, says love, love, love to Barnaby. Barnaby has been a little bad boy.
He's been a stinker.
He has been a stinker. He killed a mole today. So we usually we let him play a little bit. He plays with his buddy mole out in the yard. But today I turned my back because I had gone and chased him away from it, and the mole ran away, and I turned my back to walk back, and the next thing I know, he's like twisting his neck, and I think he snapped the mole's neck because
the killer came out.
I didn't see any puncture wounds on the mole, but the mole was dead. So I know that's his nature. That's a cat's nature. He didn't really hold it against him too much, but I don't like to kill things. So he was a little bit proud of himself, I think. But he also, now he's lost his friend in the yard. So I don't know what he's going to do not having moles to chase. Tea-berry.
Tea-berry.
Anne says, is the minty pink ice cream.
I found it just as you said it.
And then Barnaby's been pretty bad in the house lately. And so those girls, they have him worked up, and he gets worked up around them. And I said, you are supposed to be setting the example, not participating.
We're learning new
bad things from the girls.
Like, so the girl kittens, they started jumping up on the counters.
Uh-huh.
Barnaby, okay, so Paolo and Babette never went on the counter.
No.
Paolo would go above.
He jumped way up on the cabinet sometimes to look down.
And he would be my little sous chef.
Yeah.
But he was not
supervising
on any kind of surface that had food on it.
No.
And so my supervisor.
Your supervisor.
So Gilbert and Barnaby never ever went on.
They never learned that. They never went on the counters.
And so when the little kids come, they're a little bit wild. They just do whatever.
Yeah.
And I think what it is they're trying to get into the window over the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Or because sometimes we have baby birds out there.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to get a drink of water from the sink.
Yeah.
And so I came in and they were all on the counter, and I was like, what am I seeing? Our neighbors probably think I abuse children regularly. Because I'm like, get off the counter!
Uh-huh.
And it like shakes the window.
So these are vintage Japanese glass. They're $1.50 each. And
these are antique.
So they're antique. They are 11 millimeters by 15 millimeters. They're $1.50 each. You're not going to find these probably anywhere else. Anne says, remember tea-berry gum and blackjack gum? And there was another one. I remember it. Didn't they come in the white and black and white and pink? And wasn't there a white and green container? Norma says the tea-berry shuffle jingle. I don't know that. don't think I know that. Clove and Demon's Gum were the other ones. I thought there was a, yeah, Clove and Demons. All right, everybody. We got a prize tonight. Let's do the prize. We're kind of at the halfway point. Kind of at the halfway point. What are we going to ask for the prize?
I don't know. Somebody already answered the prize question.
Let's see here. What can I think of? So these are polymer clay beads. Did you make these, Andrew? No. I didn't think these were yours. I don't remember them. So if you want to win this prize, you have to, one, have claimed something tonight. All right? You have to have already claimed something tonight. And what's something we talked about tonight that we can ask? Or didn't talk about tonight that we can ask?
We talked about clothes.
I know, we talked about clothes, we talked about laundry, we talked about organizing.
Here, catch.
What am I catching? Ooh. Oh, found it. Sorry, everybody. I dropped the bead a long time ago, and Andrew just found it.
Like, what's this?
What's this?
What's this? What's this? Something new. What's that come from?
What?
What's this? It's a song.
I don't know that song.
It's from animation.
Susan says, I don't think I've heard of tea berry before.
It's an old-timey flavor.
Old-timey. Okay. What can I think of that y'all might know?
You might know that.
What?
That song.
That song? Okay, what's the question, Andrew?
Let me get that exactly right.
The official question. Oh.
The lyrics are, what's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, blank. This isn't fair. What's this? What movie is that from?
What movie is that from? Okay. So name the movie. I don't know the answer, so I'll yell them out as we get them, and we'll see who wins this. If you want to win this prize. It's all polymer clay beads. Anne says The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Correct.
Okay, there it is. So Anne gets the prize. Thank you for playing along. Anne says, yay, thank you. Okay, back to the beads. Well, back to the beads that we're charging you for, if you want them. Z17, these are wild. These are $3 each, which I think is a really good deal. These are all shell beads. And they have this beautiful blue and tan color to them with the white. Beautiful shell. Each one's $3 each. We have 8 of them available. Aren't these pretty? I love that hint of blue through them. Just think it's so pretty. Let me show you the other ones too. There they all are. Just something you do not see every day at all. Andrew pulled these from the depths of the collection. And these ones are about 23.5 millimeters by about 20 millimeters. Z17, $3 each. 8 of them available.
What was it that I got?
Huh?
What did I do?
Pulled these from the depths of the collection. The shell beads.
Oh, those are really, you do not see that very often. It's actually from the heart of the shell, and there's 2 of them, and then they're glued together, and then they're carved.
So there you go.
Isn't that kind of wild? I think they also augment the colors a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think this blue is a natural.
But you never know.
It could be. It's
I think that's the adhesive, though.
It might be the adhesive, actually. But it's also like spiny oyster. You never think they're that color, but they are. Anne says, I don't see Michelle. Michelle was here earlier, says, but these would be great for our beachy jewelry. So different and such a cool shape, right? Yeah, you're not going to see those.
Kind of like beachy industrial.
Beachy industrial.
Don't they kind of look like cogs?
Yeah, they do. Like George Jetson and his Cogsley Cogs. Wasn't that where he worked? Or was that the competitor? Spacely Sprockets, and then Cogsley Cogs, I think, was the competitor.
That's been edited from my mind.
Edited out?
Correct. You know, I was talking to a friend. You remember when we went to see Janessa?
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me some stories, and I completely have no recollection.
Finally gotten to that age where we've lost the recollection of entire events.
No, I think I mean, yes, but I also think that like that is like a trauma response.
Yeah,
maybe.
you block some of that stuff out.
And so like some of that stuff is just gone.
So these are the vintage antique Japanese, again, $1.50 each, but in this color this time, in this kind of orangey red and black.
Antique.
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 Huh?
Vantique.
Vantique.
So we watched the second part of Dune last night.
Yes, we did. A very long. I was watching that while I was posting on the D-Stash.
You know, I like the books. They're a little bit homophobic in the books, but whatever. But I thought the costumes were nice.
I liked it. I thought it was. I liked it. I didn't remember the first part at all, though, so that was a little bit hard for me. I should have watched the first part in preparation. Those would be cool for fall and specifically Halloween, says Susan. Yes, they would. Great for Halloween. And only $1.50 each for some vintage antique Japanese glass.
About it. You know, the thing is that I'm not like a huge Timothée Chalamet fan.
No, you are not.
Because there's all these people going crazy, losing their minds over him. I was like, that dude looks like he's on the corner at the gas station. I'm not like bewitched the same way some people are.
I think he's pretty good looking, but I mean, I get it.
He's each your own. That's not my flavor, I guess.
But he is probably one of those people that if he wasn't famous, you might not look again.
Like, you could always tell when there was a stunt double because they filled out them pants and he did not. So they look a little bit like a saggy diaper. And I know that feeling because I have that happen to me sometimes. And it's an unfortunate thing.
These are vintage Chinese ceramic, 17 millimeters by 13.5, Z19, $1.50. If you are in the Timothée Chalamet fandom, do not come at us, please.
Oh, well, all I'm saying is Zendaya can do better. Let's just be true colors. Zendaya can do better.
Maybe he's very nice too.
Zendaya can still do better.
Oh,
she's so pretty. She can do better.
Don't be judging based on looks, Andrew.
And she can fight. It's not just from the looks. He's a douchey. I mean, not a nice character to her in that movie.
Yeah.
Did you forget? Because I didn't. I said, That's correct. I would have done the same thing. Turn on the heel, and there would be a
He did
burnt
what he
rubber
had to
streak.
do.
Uh-huh.
He saw the future. He did what he had to do.
Uh-huh.
What kind of glass are these?
Let me just tell you, it's not that. Those are probably old Czech.
Old Czech, vintage or antique Czech. 15.7 millimeters by about 16 and a half. Faceted red, only 4 of them available, $1 each.
Watch him just happened to catch our live.
Who? Timothy Chalamet? Yeah.
He just happened to cruise through.
And hear us talking about him. Be like, who are these nobody people talking about me in my multi-million-dollar movie?
Remy Williams said you're attractive. I said you're not my cup of tea. And I don't know why Zendaya will put up with you. So, that's not saying that, I recognize that everybody's got a flavor, and that's not my flavor. So it makes it hard to watch a 4-hour movie.
4-hour movie.
When that's not your flavor, And they like zoom in on his face so hard. And I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Z21 are these little stars. 35 cents each only. 7 of them available. This is 12 millimeter stars. Suzanne says, what movie is this? Dune and Dune 2. We watched Dune 2 last night. I guess there's going to be a third part?
I don't know, but the way that ended.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope that's not the end.
But you know what? There are other books. In the books, there's Children of Dune. That one, they picked, what's his name? Mr. Tumnus.
I don't remember how the original Dune movie went.
With Sting.
I don't know who did it.
He played the bald one, that fight.
Z22, $2 each.
But he had red hair.
These were what again, Andrew?
I think they're
Aventurine.
But they're real pretty.
Yeah, they're very pretty. 22 millimeters by about 8.5.
I like Jessica.
Green Aventurine. $2 each. Real gemstones. Beautiful color. Look at it glowing. That would be great with silver or gold or gunmetal. Susan says Dune 2 was especially brutal.
For the murder scenes.
Marion says Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh,
MacLachlan was Paul in the first movie.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
You mean brutal as in like graphic or just hard to sit through? I think hard to sit through is maybe. I didn't mind it at all, actually.
I like the costume.
I kind of enjoyed it.
Lady Jessica.
I wish I would have remembered what happened in the first one.
I like Zendaya's character, and that's about it.
This is green, the crackle glass. And on the one side, it's kind of flat-ish. You can see a little twist there. But then it has this bump on the one side that's carved in here and there. So these are $1.50 each only, and they are 18 millimeters by about 13.5 by about 8.5. Sting was Fade, F-E-Y-D, in the David Lynch movie. I watched that when I was like young, I believe, so I don't remember that too. Susan said yes, hard to sit through.
What's the ones of floating aliens?
Sandra says pretty green color. They are. I love these.
I feel like there was floating aliens, and they were like.
In the original movie?
I don't know if they're in the book right now.
Going back to some vintage lucite here. These are white vintage lucite beads, and They are 16 millimeters. If you're doing some black and white, or maybe you combine these if you got some of those black and white drops, or if you got some of those black rings earlier, or even some of the rings that were blue on the inside or green on the inside. You can compare these because they were white on the outside. These are 50 cents each only. Z24, 13 of them available. Vintage lucite.
Yeah, I can see it now. So it's like, well, I don't like any of your artwork either. That's fine. They're not my flavor either. Do it. Yeah. Oh, wow.
No, everybody's fine. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion on what would be their flavor. Andrew's just saying if he were single and Timothy Chalamet came up to him, he'd be like, nah.
Unless he's famous, then
Oh,
then I'm like, well,
the fame helps.
not necessarily fame, but the money.
The money.
To afford the housekeeper.
The housekeeper, and to allow you to be an artist for life.
Then I'd be like, all right.
All
let's see
right.
what Zendaya is doing. She wanted to be with Moadib, but she didn't actually want him when he's famous. So.
No. So these are 10 millimeter Heishi beads in vintage lucite. 15 cents each only. There are 29 of them available. Marion says all the Doom books contain a fair amount of violence.
Mm-hmm. And the homophobia. And I don't like that. So that part. But I did like the book. I guess it's not like overtly homophobic, but there were like they made that one Baron dude. He had his like little boy sex slaves, and then
the Baron.
And I think they edited that out for the movie.
Mm.
But in the one version, they do not edit that out.
All right. Next up, we have these big beads. Big beads. And we have 20 of these available. They're $4 each. They are very light because they're lucite. They're about 34 millimeters by about 20 millimeters, which in inches, that's about 1.25 inches by, what is that? 3/4 of an inch.
And let's just be truthful. He's not going to come up to me nothing. So.
He's like, that's not going to happen. Plus, you're already taken now.
I know, but this not. Then he's not going to be like, oh, let me get after that middle-aged half Filipino.
Like, you're never going to have to make that tough decision.
No, it's not going to be like something that's going to be like, oh my God.
Do I leave William for this or not?
Or do I just become like a throuple or whatever? By the way, William.
By the way.
Have a new husband, too.
Husband number 2.
You're going to have to do the thing with the cats. Well.
Thing with the cats.
And then they go in the bed and the jump on the, like they're like sandworms.
Oh.
Did you see that meme?
No.
It was pretty cute. They're like patting the bed, and then the cats were like tunneling underneath the blanket.
That's funny.
That is particularly charming.
So these are about 15.5 millimeter rounds in this red, and I think these are Italian actually. They're done with Chinese symbols or Asian symbols of some sort, but I think these were marked Italian.
Mm-hmm. They're Italian.
And they're $2 each for those. Marion says, Andrew wants a side piece with money, LOL.
Yeah, we gotta maintain this somehow. How do you think I'm gonna be a force of change?
Well, there ain't no one entering this all if they don't have something to add.
All right. This is not if somebody's gonna be like, I have to like take care of them.
Yeah.
It'd be like having a kid.
Yeah, right.
If I have to like, how are you feeling today? I'm not, okay, so you may have noticed I'm not particularly loving like that. You know how some people are nice and stuff? I'm not necessarily like that. So if I have to do that, then they have to like return something, reciprocity, like in breeding
Reciprocity.
seacross.
This is 15.5 to 16. They're a little bit oblong by 8.5, and they're very large hole, this shape, kind of rondelle shape. And they're $1.50 each, and they match the other two we've done so far.
So unless they are like, it's like the old timey marriages where you have to have like, it's like the joining of houses.
Right? They have to bring something to the table.
Correct. Because otherwise, then I already got a love match. So,
Suzanne says, such a pretty red. It is, right? They're like changing this subject. No, these are a deep, pretty red.
It's like Bridgerton,
Like Bridgerton. Got the love match. Now I need the money match.
They got money. Some of them.
Some of them. These are even smaller. And they're in that same red. These are the Italian with the Asian symbols. Even though these ones don't have the writing or anything that some of the other ones did.
They coordinate though.
They do coordinate. These are 9 millimeters by about 5.5, 25 cents each. Oh, I didn't write how many there were on here. 5, 10, 15. There's about 20 of them, I think.
So,
actually, I think there's 19.
When does the new Bridgerton come out?
19 of them. I don't know. Anybody get a scoop on when the next Bridgerton parts come out?
Because I'm interested in that.
And coming up, the last one tonight, y'all. More of these red. I hope you like these red because that's how we're ending this show. Rosemary says, what are these made of? These are vintage acrylic. Actually, probably antique acrylic at this point. And these are the last ones. They're this kind of teardrop shape. Pretty nice size holes. These holes on here are 2.2 millimeters. And these beads are about 11 millimeters by 12 millimeters. And there are 16 of these available at $1 each.
But again, this is another scenario that's unlikely to happen.
Unlikely to happen.
I doubt that there's people who are like, oh boy.
Oh, let me jump at that opportunity.
Like, oh, I have to have generational wealth that he can spend. Great. So appealing.
Right.
And he's not going to be nice to
me. He's not caring. He's not going to be nice.
I'm caring.
He's caring in his way.
Exactly.
He's just not
overtly affectionate.
Yes. I wouldn't be with you if you weren't caring in some way.
Yeah, I'm like abstractly caring, where it happens like behind the scenes, or but like if you want somebody to like pat you in public and like gently caress the side of your face, that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
You might as well just pick somebody else if that's the expectation.
Oh my. All right, everybody.
But who knows? Maybe I'll soften up. When my generational trauma gets solved, I'll be like,
when you've got that generational money and no generational trauma,
I'll be so nice.
You know, maybe you'll be a changed man.
I know. I'll be petting everybody. I'd be like that one lady in that one show we watched where she's like rubbing up on everybody, but she also gets the best deals.
She does. She gets those good construction deals.
I know. I was like, is that something that I need to do?
Be flirting with everyone?
But I also feel like if I did that, it would have like the opposite effect.
We're going to charge you more now.
They would be like, don't come back. What you doing rubbing up on that wall?
Marian says, no public displays of affection.
You know, I don't mind when other people do it, but for me, it's not.
It's always been hard for us. You wrote a post about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, that was 30 lots. We hope you enjoyed those. I'm going to go check the email and see if any of you did. We are, again, going to be away on Friday. So the store will not be open in Johnstown on Friday. We will not have our live on Friday. We may have a road trip live, but we will not have a sale on Friday. So hopefully you'll buy some stuff throughout the week here, and we'll be able to afford gas to go on our trip. And
it's gonna be real interesting otherwise.
We're gonna pick up hopefully some good stuff and drop some stuff off, but hopefully we'll have some new stuff.
We're gonna have to show a leg or something on the side of the road.
Ain't nobody wanting that either. So
they'll stop because the blinding white.
The blinding white of my leg, right?
They'll be like, "What's that?
What's that?"
Twinkling in the distance.
Suzanne says, "Come to New Orleans."
We're not going that far south.
No, it's not going to be that far south, unfortunately, or we would.
We go about halfway.
Yeah, it's going to be about a 7 or 8 hour trip each way, and we have to make it in the same day.
So that's less than ideal.
Yeah.
But we have to be back for. There's a conference in town, the Havana conference. It's a pretty big deal. They asked us to teach for it, but we've been so busy with the store opening that we unfortunately had to say no.
Yeah.
But people are coming to it, and they've asked for us to be open on Saturday.
Okay.
So we may be disasperated on Saturday.
Yeah, because we're leaving like Thursday night or late at night.
Which is fine because I drive best at night, I think.
Yeah. So he'll probably drive down while I sleep or nap, try to. And then we have to pack up and then unload and then drive back Friday day-ish, night-ish.
Afternoon.
Yeah, kind of
I
afternoon.
wanted to stay longer, but we just can't do it right now.
No, and the people we're seeing have other plans anyway.
But I wanted to see other people while we were down there.
Yeah, it's just not in the cards right now.
Like one of my friends, she just had surgery, and I wanted to check in on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess we just check in on each other with a messenger.
You got that? Yeah. Sometimes that's easier, especially when you're recuperating too. So
I'm not draining nothing or changing nothing.
He's not caring like that.
No, not unless I felt like a calm, or I don't know. I think I could,
You could, but that would have to be your life, and you would have to be paid well for it.
It would be like there would be like soft tinkling music that would happen all the time.
All the time.
And dramatic lighting.
Anne says thank you. She's out of here. Thank you so much. Anyway, yeah, we're just chatting pretty much with each other here. So thank you so much. We just want to let you know that we are not going to be here Friday. We will remind you of that probably every day this week. And we will see you tomorrow with something else. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grabbing anything if you did. And see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.